Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Love, Life and Energy. My name is Michelle Chung. I'm your host on this podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about stop chasing love and start living your truth. Now, this is something that's you're probably moving into as you move away from all the dating apps and all the dating and chasing, and you're looking for what is the next step that you've got to do to actually meet your soulmate organically and naturally and not have to do all that chasing and hard work. So if this is something that you're interested in and this is where you're at right now, this is going to be perfect for you. So stick around. Welcome to Love, Life and Energy. I'm Michelle Chung, and this podcast is your go-to sanctuary for personal growth, designed for busy, career-driven women who are ready to embrace their highest potential and not settle for an average, ordinary life. Let's grow and manifest your dream life together. So if you feel like love is something you have to chase because that's the only way you've been able to find a relationship, and it's a lot of effort and a lot of work, and it's never been quite natural for you or things never fell into place, then this is what we're going to talk about today, and trying to figure this all out and do this in a way that feels aligned for you and find love in a relationship that is actually effortless, because that does exist and it does exist for you. Okay. So I remember when I was single and you're probably doing it right now. I was trying to do everything. I was following all the rules. I was reading all those books. I was trying to listen to all the dating advice. I was looking at Matthew Huffey online, and it became like a second job. Like you work during the day and then you come home and you're swiping and you're trying to organize your social life and try to meet somebody. And then after a while, you just give up and you just go, okay, I'm over this. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to just focus on myself. And so you get into this vicious cycle of trying to date and then not dating. And the thing is, when I was dating and even when I wasn't dating, I still kept attracting the same kind of guys. These guys they're charming, they were nice guys, but they were not conscious, to be very straightforward and honest. I'd done a lot of personal growth. I've done a lot of work on myself and focused on my more spiritual side and the emotional intelligence that's behind our physical beings. And I was meeting a lot of guys who weren't on that level yet. And they were great guys. And I imagine being with them, some lucky woman would be with them and that would be okay. But they just weren't right for me because I was in a different kind of level of consciousness where I wanted to be more on a spiritual level. And I was starting to understand that there is more to life than just work and trying to survive in life. And so I wanted somebody who was on that same level of growth and personal development. And what I realized was, even though that was going on inside of me, that's probably not how I was showing up on the outside. So that's why I kept attracting those kind of guys. I had not been living my truth. I've not been living on the outside what I was actually processing on the inside. Like a lot of me was going on to a more deeper level of personal development, and I wanted somebody who was on that same journey. And because that was one of the reasons why I broke up with my ex-husband, because he was not aligned on that same journey, or maybe he was doing it in his own different way and our values were not aligned. So the moment that I stopped trying to please others, performing as if I was not this alive and conscientious being, and I started honoring my values and I actually started living my values and my vision on the outside, and I let go of that need to find him, because there was an inner peace and knowing that there was a process, there was a path, and I was on that process and I was on that way. And that's when everything shifted. Now, here's the truth that no one tells you. You don't find your soulmate love by searching harder. You find it by coming home to who you truly are. So that means the more aligned you are with your values, your voice, your vision, living this in your lifestyle, the less that you can actually tolerate this misaligned energy. And that's when you become more magnetic. So love is not something you attract by trying harder. That's this masculine approach we have in society, right? You just got to try harder. You just got to do more. It's something you receive. Love is something that you just receive. just by being yourself. And if you feel like you have been being yourself and you haven't attracted that love, it's perhaps a sign to step into your higher self. Okay, so it's what I like to relate back to that love journey. If it's not happening for you at this point in time, there's a lesson to be learned. And that's more about growing into the person that you are destined to become. I believe a lot in fate and Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. And in a spiritual sense, our life on earth is a growth journey. And that's why sometimes we don't have the partner that we want, because we're still growing. We're still moving along in our love journey. And it's a way of us moving towards where we have destined ourselves to be, the contract that we wrote for ourselves before we're born. It's just a growth and not so much about the destination. That makes sense. So think of this as authentic alignment within yourself that actually attracts the soulmate love, the ideal partner at a soul level into your life. And we're talking about universal law, manifestation, energy, all this kind of stuff that actually can be scientifically explained now. We just don't believe in that stuff enough, or we just put it to the side because we feel like it's not tangible enough, right? So if you can be open to that, everything is energy and attracts like, that's also already a scientific proven theory. The more that we become aligned to who we're supposed to be is where we have our soulmate become aligned and attracted to that person, your higher self, and your lifestyle. So think of that authentic alignment as tuning into a radio. So if you're on the wrong frequency, and they talk about vibration and energy levels and things like that. So say you're on one particular frequency on that radio where you're not quite yourself. You may think you're being yourself, but you still got elements of maybe people pleasing, maybe overperforming, wanting to be liked, maybe settling for second best, or settling for a relationship that you don't truly feel comfortable in and not feeling like it's your best expression of yourself, because there's fear, there's worry, there's the anxiety. Maybe you're afraid of being single. Maybe you're afraid of being in a relationship because that might trap you. So all these things going on that are not in alignment with your higher self, your spiritual being, the soul that you really are, that living in that way has a misalignment that brings in the wrong kind of people. That means you won't actually hear that song on that particular radio station that was meant for you. So when we're tuning into the right frequency that is in authentic alignment with ourselves, our soul, and we're following that soul path, we're living that on the outside, that is really a sign to the universe to say, hey, I'm on my path. Can you please bring me in all the opportunities and people and amazing things that's meant to be for me at this frequency level, right? And then naturally everything just magnetizes towards you. So the moment that you tune into your soul's frequency by living with integrity to that frequency, that's actually following your vision. That's when love actually gets called in. Okay. I hope that makes sense. One amazing quote is from Glennon Doyle in The Untamed. He says, the truest, most beautiful life never promises to be easy. It promises to be real. And that is the promise of love as well. Hopefully that all makes sense. When you're living in your truth, being aligned to your soul purpose, you don't need to be chasing love. That's the masculine and the feminine approach. The feminine not being girly or womanly or getting your nails done or having a spa day. That's not what we mean by moving into your feminine energy. The feminine being more the internal energy, as in
biologically women have our reproductive organs on the inside and males have it on the external side. So that's the masculine, the action taking, physical manifestation. So when we focus more on that internal journey, looking inwards to discovering what is really our truth. And now it can be tricky and challenging because sometimes you feel like I am living my truth. I'm doing my best life. I'm where I want to be. And still nothing is happening. Just know that universe has something in store for you. And there is some kind of journey to be had before you can manifest or achieve the physical results, as in being in that relationship that you want to be in, because otherwise you would have it already. It's either you get what you want or the lesson that you need to have. So hopefully that all makes sense. And if you're feeling like, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't know what my soul path is supposed to be, that's totally fine, because that's where you're meant to be. It's this human life. We've forgotten our purpose, our soul purpose that we promised ourselves, that contract that we had with ourselves before we were born. Our process in life is to actually rediscover what that soul purpose is. What is that mission that we came on earth to fulfill? Maybe that mission is to find a deep and connecting love. And that love first being within yourself before you can attract your soulmate, your partner. Sometimes it may be that you're fulfilling a karmic resolution where you're supposed to be searching for and meeting your soulmate in this lifetime. There are many different reasons why sometimes we don't meet our partner. So one of the most powerful things you can do, and you probably hear this a lot and it's cliche, don't focus on the dating, don't focus on them, focus on yourself. And that can seem like a bit of a cop out because all you want to know is how to do this thing step by step. Should I update my online profile? What kind of photos should I put on my profile? Things like that. At the end of the day, when you're living your best life as your higher self, all these things fall into place just so beautifully and so naturally and easily that all these things actually start to happen for you. And remember, our mother's generation never had any of these online things. They didn't even have computers. They didn't have barely a telephone. So all these things happened before. So it's this resurgence as we awaken in consciousness to come back to the way we were designed to live our lives as humans. And on that love journey, as we discover ourselves, we discover our own truth, our own higher power, what we're meant to be doing, our soulmate. And remember, your soulmate is also living his truth and trying to figure out this love journey for himself as well. And that's when you'll both come together along that path of growth and discovery, and you'll find each other. And I guarantee that is the most beautiful way that you can meet somebody, especially if you're somebody who wants to be on that soulmate journey of growth and discovery, and not just meeting a partner just because, you want a companion. And that's totally okay. But if you're not finding your partner coming to you along that way, it's probably a call towards you moving towards your higher self and that amazing growth journey. Okay, so I hope you loved this episode. If it resonates with you or if you have any questions, make sure you contact me on my Instagram at Michelle Chung Coach. Otherwise, I'd love to invite you to my free masterclass training. And if you're ready to stop chasing love and stop pursuing men and start attracting him, living your authentic, aligned truth, then you can join my free masterclass. The link to register is in the show notes below. And just remember, we go deep into how alignment changes everything, because it changes almost like shifts your life. It can also shift your career, and perhaps you're even thinking about a career shift. A lot of women come to me with both these areas wanting work on. Maybe it's to start a new business or start a new career path. And that is the most beautiful place to be, because you're starting to realign all areas of your life and not just in love. Okay. So hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you next time.